Okay, for the A-line skirt, the back, if you'll notice, it actually still has a couple darts left, but for the most part, it's flat and flared out. So we will square up to the dart. So go from the bottom here and square straight up to the dart. Now draw your little square here to show that that's what you did. So same from this one, go straight up to the dart point. So line up your ruler with the hem so that it's straight, and then go right up to the dart. Reduce these darts, so we're going to make each of them 1 centimeter, just like we did on the front, because that way, so we're going to draw this line from this point to the center of the dart here. So from this point to the center of the dart. So the reason we're going to make these smaller is because it has to flare out the same amount as the front. Unless you want the back to be more full than the front, then you could just get rid of these, overlap these full darts, and then you wouldn't have to sew any darts in your skirt, which I would probably do, and just make the back more full. But we're just going to do like the example and take out 1 centimeter. So if I go on either side here, go 1 centimeter, what it does is it leaves behind a 2 centimeter dart to draft in the middle here. So while I'm up here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to put a 2 centimeter dart right in the middle of that. So 2 centimeters in. And the end of the dart is actually, if I connect these two, the end of the dart is going to be right there. So if I find the middle of this, so that's it, right in the middle of that 2 centimeter one. So in the middle, and I draw a line. It's going to be square with the hem, but it goes straight down in between these two darts. It's actually not square with the hem, it's actually square with the waistline. So it would be perpendicular to this line here, to the waistline. So we go perpendicular to the waistline. So it angles a little bit, and then we connect. So I made a 2 centimeter dart right here. And then these guys are going to turn into 1 centimeter darts. So this is why you need a really sharp pencil. It helps if we say what we're doing right here. Reduce darts to 1 centimeter. And then that will show what we're doing. Okay, so now we can... It's really hard to cross out any old lines, but these outside lines get crossed out. So we'll just leave them because they're too small. Let's label this. This one's 1 centimeter. This one's 2 centimeters. And this one's 1 centimeter. Now we're going to square out the hem like we did on the other one. So I will measure out 2.5. Put a little mark. Then I will put my ruler so that this bottom edge touches the hem, this side edge touches this hip line right here, and angle it. See, I can flare it out more or less. So we're going to angle it till it hits this mark. And then continue this line here. So we draw this square. I'm going to correct this a little bit. So we went out 2.5. So we add our measurements. We did that, and we need to add our scissors. So you're cutting up these lines, and then we're cutting down. It's going to be hard to put the scissors on these lines. So I do have my little scissor lines. If you want, get a really sharp color and color these so that you can really see them. And then we'll go down this line. Okay, so now we can take the technique and cut it out, and make sure you cut on the outside of that flare line. So I have it cut out, and see the pivot point is here. So I cut up this way and down this way so that I could create the pivot point. Then you can overlap that little dart. The 1 centimeter dart you're only overlapping, so it's not very much. It's the same what we did on the front. Overlap the 1 centimeter, and then you can glue this guy down. All right, so to finish it off, you are going to connect this hem here. And we have a hip notch. The back is also going to be placed on fold because the zipper is at the side seam. Some people put the zipper at the back and put a seam here. We'll put our arrowheads onto our grain line. I always like my grain lines long, so I continue it down. Put the arrows on the end. And then when you label this, would be skirt, back, place on fold. Oops, forgot to say cut. Cut 1. This will say cut 1 on fold. It's size 10. You can put your initials. After you add the seam allowance, then you say what your seam allowance is. So you'd say seam allowance equals 1.5, but we won't add that right now.